After being cyberbullied, adult film star August Ames was found dead by suspected suicide. 23-year-old adult film actress August Ames was found dead on Tuesday morning following an online blow-up over an arguably homophobic tweet. According to the blast, she died of asphyxiation by hanging. Ames had criticised women who worked with male actors who also did gay porn, tweeting, "Do agents really not care about who they're representing?" So I imagine that the fear here is the transmission of HIV. And Ames had tweeted, "Whichever lady performer is replacing me tomorrow for Erotica X News, you're shooting with a guy who has shot gay porn, just to let you know. BS, all I can say is, do agents really not care about who they're representing? LA Direct, I do my homework for my body." So she's concerned about contracting a fatal disease. And ultimately, it's her choice if she doesn't want to appear with someone who has done gay porn. It's not a judgment on people doing gay porn. That's her freedom of association. You can imagine how this went down with the social justice crowd. And the answer is obviously not fucking well. August, the world is waiting for your apology or for you to swallow a cyanide pill. Either or we'll take it. Turns out being an uneducated homophobe didn't get you a pat on the head. Maybe think next time before you word vomit for attention. Holy shit, this is homophobic. Guess I'm not a fan anymore. You sound fucking done. Disgusting discriminator. Following the outrage, Ames responded with an apology and clarified that she was not homophobic. "Sorry, it was just my opinion. My body, my rules. I'm sorry if I offended anyone. Plus, I didn't say any names, but I will stop talking so no more damage is done, lol." She clarified that she was not homophobic. "Most girls don't shoot with guys who have shot gay porn for safety. That's just how it is with me. I'm not putting my body at risk. I don't know what they do in their private lives. And that's her choice." Of course, this didn't stop the hate mob. But I think it's important to note that apparently she had a tragic past of sexual abuse and mental health issues before she committed suicide. So 2 months before her death, she had appeared on the Holly Randall Unfiltered podcast for a wide-ranging hour-long interview. In it, she revealed that she experienced a lot of sexual molestation, but the perpetrator was not her father, and the trauma of the abuse was compounded because she was not believed when she raised the alarm. It was just awful. It's still recent where I have to keep myself occupied or else I start thinking about all that shit and fall into a depression. I tried to do therapy. I hate that word. I hate therapy. Ames added that she was using medication to deal with bipolar disorder, depression, and multiple personality disorder. "It's so hard when I wasn't on any medication. I'd just flip, you know? It was crippling." Towards the end of the podcast, she said that when she's feeling low and depressed, she goes through her old photos to look for a happy selfie to post on Instagram to her followers. So, I'm no expert on the subject, but it looks like a young woman who was already dealing with depression was pushed over the edge because of this. Now, the police haven't confirmed the reason that she died. It's assumed that it's suicide, but I think that's a fairly safe assumption to go with. I would speculate that the hate mob was probably the final straw that broke the camel's back. And that's not to try and excuse anyone, but I don't think you can hold these people responsible for her actually killing herself. It seems that this was because a pre-existing structure of mental instability because of other abuses that she'd suffered in her life. That's not to excuse what happened, especially as she did absolutely nothing wrong. All of this was an ideological attack, calling her homophobic because she doesn't want to have sex with a man who's had sex with other men is absurd. It's as absurd as saying that someone is transphobic for not wanting to have sex with a trans woman who has XY chromosomes. It is none of anyone else's business who people choose to have sex with or to not have sex with, and the reasons that they choose not to have sex with them. There is no excuse for mass shaming someone because they don't want to have sex with someone. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard, and I do not accept at all that any of these people had anything other than hostility, vitriol, and the desire to protect their own ideology and personal beliefs in their hearts when they were persecuting this young woman. Her brother believed that his sister's death was due to this bullying, and like I said, ultimately the actual tipping over of the scales probably was. But it's really sad. It's just fucking unacceptable for an SJW mob to go around bullying people because they don't want to fuck someone. I mean, just say it out loud to a regular person and ask them what they think of being bullied because you don't want to sleep with someone. Normally, feminists would be on the side of the woman in this case. And I know it sounds crazy in this day and age that feminists should support a woman's right to choose who she sleeps with, but apparently we are now on the other side of the mirror, we are through the looking glass, and now this woman was homophobic for refusing to have sex with a certain man. So that was quite depressing, so I think it's time to move on to something that really isn't. Well, actually, I've got to say,